on the brink of nuclear catastrophe and the most powerful atomic explosion in history. The first open act of aggression against a NATO country in this millennium. We're talking about the launch of ballistic missiles at a nuclear weapons storage facility.
If, God forbid, some Iranian missile hits there, it could all blow up, and the consequences would be more than we could handle.
How did the attack on Ankara's nuclear arsenal end? And why did Turkey rush to distance itself and not respond with a retaliatory strike?
A missile, having accidentally deviated from its course, does not follow the precisely calculated arc. But
also, what is actually stored at the secret NATO base on the Black Sea coast? How many deadly bombs are kept in Turkish warehouses? How securely are they protected? And what will happen if Tehran decides to repeat the attack, but this time the air defense fails? About
how the entire world. As we look forward to the arrival of March in the year 2026, marking a significant point in our upcoming timeline,
was one step away from the largest nuclear explosion in history. We will tell you all about it right now in the new episode of Arsenal. So we are going to talk about the Turkish Incirlik airbase located in western Turkey. According to available information, Iran did not forget about it during its missile strikes on American allies. On the night of March 13th, several ballistic missiles were launched toward this facility at once.
One of the missiles, which was launched from Iran, was fired toward the Incirlik military base in Turkey. At this base, there are American nuclear bombs. About 50 of them have been there since the early 1950s. If, God forbid, an Iranian missile were to hit there, it could all explode. And the consequences would be catastrophic for us.
And an explosion did occur. But fortunately, those were the sounds of air defense systems at work. The American system installed on a US destroyer was able to intercept the missile. As was later reported by state media, there were actually 2 targets. However, according to eyewitnesses, they heard 3 flyovers. In any case, the air defense managed to deal with all the threats. But the most important thing is not how the attack was carried out, but what is located at that very NATO base. So according to open sources, there is a storage facility there for American B-61 nuclear gravity bombs.
according to the Arms Control Organization, which has access to global nuclear cooperation assessments, between 50 and 60 American B-61 nuclear gravity bombs are stored in reinforced underground bunkers at the base. These specific nations are currently part of a formal nuclear sharing agreement with their allies.
The fact is that at Incirlik Air Base there is not only a storage facility but also a permanent presence. US, Spanish, Polish and other countries' military personnel are stationed there. Its main purpose is to serve as a point where NATO can deploy its forces in case it needs to go to war in the Middle East. It also serves as a place where any alliance aircraft can receive maintenance, refueling, and, if necessary, take on board those very B-61s.
Allied aircraft can deliver them to any point in the world in the event of a nuclear war. They have been stored there since the Cold War era.
To understand what could have happened if the Iranian ballistic missile had reached its target, it's worth explaining a bit about what these aerial bombs are. Created back in the 1960s in the United States, they have been repeatedly modernized since then, mainly to increase their power. Last year, another version of it was adopted by the United States military. The B-61-13 is more powerful than its predecessor and is designed to destroy deep underground bunkers, large-scale military facilities, and enemy command centers. The B-61-13 will likely match the power of the B-61-7, whose maximum explosive yield reaches 340 to 360 kilotons. To understand the scale, watch the following video. So here you see footage of the Soviet Tsar bomba test with a yield of 50 kilotons. That is, it's 7 times weaker than modern American ones. However, in Turkey's warehouses there are B-61 bombs of the previous modification with the same yield of 50 kilotons. And there are about 50 of them stored there. If such an arsenal were to explode, the nuclear mushroom cloud would be visible even from another continent. But even if the stockpile of aerial bombs didn't fully detonate, it would still inflict the greatest damage in history on Turkey and on the United States as well. It would be the most severe damage ever recorded. After all, the base remains the most important element of US influence in the region and the foundation of cooperation with Ankara.
The Incirlik base, at least up until 2016, and even now despite everything, remains the most important logistical center and a key link for the Americans in the region. Planes arrive there, and after refueling and receiving various types of weapons, shells, ammunition, or any other supplies, as well as support for military personnel, they are then sent on to other American bases in the region throughout the Middle East. It is a crucial point for the US Air Force, essential for any kind of support. Many American military campaigns over the past 30 years, or even longer, have either started from there or have been supported from there.
At the same time, Turkey is in no hurry to launch retaliatory strikes or join the US and Israel's operation against Iran. The authorities' initial reaction actually shocked many people. The Turkish Foreign Ministry stated that the attack on Incirlik happened by accident and that the missile was not intended to go there at all.
A missile that accidentally veers off course does not fly a precisely calculated arc through 3 verified countries and then suddenly misses its target.
Later, Ankara's rhetoric became more assertive. Without resorting to open threats, they nevertheless advised Tehran to stop playing dangerous games and indirectly confirmed their readiness to get involved in the Middle East war if the attacks were to happen again.
Then, directly from the Turkish side, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan called on Iran, quote, not to get involved in reckless adventures. By the way, Hakan Fidan is also the former head of Turkish intelligence. In essence, the Turkish security forces have sent a message. Erdogan sent a message to the Iranians as well, saying, one more step, one more provocation, and things will get bad. If it goes further, we will intervene.
So what does Turkey have? What can it oppose to the Ayatollah regime? The second largest and most powerful army in NATO after the Americans against the remnants of the IRGC. Such a massacre wouldn't last even a week. Did you like this video? Then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our Arsenal channel.